Tomorrow we are Boddington bound. Hopefully we're going to catch some big fish. We've had some good results there in the last few weeks, but the weather is massively against us. It is freezing cold. There's really cold weather on the horizon as well, so I imagine in the next couple of days the lake's going to freeze. We've had a week of terrible rain, so I imagine the watercolour is going to be like looking at a bar of chocolate. It's going to be really thick and horrible and brown. I think conditions are against us, but we're getting the gear ready. Hopefully we have a good chance of getting 1 or 2 bites, I think is the target. Next time you see me, it'll be on the bank. Look at this for a setup. Fishing in comfort in the winter. It's a cold wind this is, so got the brolly up, got my chair. I'm on the scales today, so I've got waist sling there, rods out fishing, all ready to go. We've drew peg 14 now, peg 14 on the dam wall. The early pegs, well, I'm saying 4, 6 and 8 are probably the favoured pegs, but I'm the M peg, so it could be quite good. Target, I'm saying good, target is firstly to get a bite, but I'm reckoning 2 or 3 fish is going to win this section. The reason it could be okay is because we're end peg. Now, the reason they don't peg it any further is because usually it's pretty rubbish. This isn't the best end. But if there's a few fish here, because we're the end, we should have half a chance. Let me show you what setup we've got. We've got the old Free Spirit, that's the 13 foot. That's the special. That's the one that's out at the minute. We've got £5 reel line. We've got our Suffolk Advance 028 shock leader. I think it's 028 or 027, whatever it is. It would probably tow my van. It's that strong. We were using Jura banjos. We've got a Jura banjo out. There he is. So we're using a Jura banjo, 45 and 60 gram. 45 at the minute. We've got our micros. 2 baits that we're going to be using today is my favourite yellow wowser, little yellow wowser. We've got a bit of bread as well. And I think that's about as simple as it can get. We've got another rod set up ready to go. That's the 14 foot big boy. Hopefully we're not picking that up and chucking a long way, but that will chuck us almost to the moon if we need to, with a heavy feeder. This first chuck is at 70 metres. I'd have probably started at 60 metres if I was over there on the straight longer bank, but I think here we're fishing for fewer fish. We might get an early fish first chuck at 70 metres before we have to sort of go a bit further, but anywhere between 70 and 110, I think that's our water today. Like I say, target is 1 fish to start with, but I think 2 or 3 is going to win this little section, which is I think all we can do today. I imagine 80s are going to win the match, but the early pegs have been good on that bank, so whatever they've started at, I think it's around 70. Those first 2 pegs could be good, but who knows. It's a beautiful day, sun's out. Like I say, wind's cold, but sun's out. I should be nice and snug under my brolly.
Don't know about you guys, but I absolutely and utterly love my fishing. But in the winter, when it's cold and dark, I love watching fishing content. So when it comes to the winter time, you need the best content to watch, and you can do that over on the Edge website, www.anglingedge.co.uk. And this winter, we've got some incredible footage, headlining with our F1 shallow. If you haven't seen it yet, where have you been? This is going to make you a better angler. I'm excited watching it. I've even started tying rigs for it because I know I'm going to catch more fish next year. It's been an incredible journey with underwater, but not only that, we've also got Andy Power. Andy Power, one of the greatest anglers in the UK, showing me and you how to be better anglers. What more could you want to do over this winter time?
That was nice, folks. First chuck out, first fish. Obviously we're leaving it in the water for a long time. That bite came after 30 minutes. So I think the first chuck, you can leave it out there basically until you get bored or until it goes round. But he was about £8. No one else on this damn wall down there has had one yet. I think, let's get out of the shelter and have a look up there. I think there's 2 fish caught over that far bank. My mate Smokey Joe's fishing today, he's just rang me. There's a fish on peg 69, a fish on 66, I think. Joe's got his work cut out today. He's drew next to Stu Pulser, who's winning loads and loads of money here. He's catching loads of fish. And on the other side of Joe is Steve Ringer, so he's got his work cut out. I've just tried to give him a little bit of a pep talk. Hopefully he rings me back in an hour or so and he's got a couple of fish. But yeah, it's going to be a patient day by the looks of it. Pete Caton runs these matches and he told me if we get one first chuck, we could be looking at 5 fish. That'd be the target. I think that's a little bit optimistic, if I'm honest, but who knows. I was my first visit here for a long time, a few weeks ago. Pete told me that 10 fish were the target and I laughed at him thinking that we'd struggle to get a bite, and he was right. He ended up catching £160 that day. So this place can chuck up some surprises, especially if you're on a nice pod of those big carp. Let's hope that's what's sitting in front of me.
Very, very hard so far. We are... Hey? Need 3 for a prize. So we are a couple of hours in and Feg 69 has got, playing his 3rd fish, Feg 66 has got one, and then it goes, Pete Caton's got one and Keith's got one, Steve Ringer's got none, I've got none, Stuart's just had one though, Stuart Polser, farm angler, and then there's not another fish caught then right up until the fence on peg 90. Right, Daz Sanders has got one, and then nothing again, so very, very tough over here at the minute. But you never know on this place. It can all happen very, very late. But yeah, we're at 96 metres now, which is a nice chuck with the wind off your back like this. Bread on the hook. Not a deal happening though. Out from up there. So that 69's out a little bit on a little point, and then 66, the angler after him, that's the end peg, so looks great on a hard day. Plenty of water to dry fish from.
Things are happening, folks. Sadly not for me. I've had a bite since we had that early fish, but that's his second. Wayne, the other side, about 20 minutes ago, had his first fish. No one else has caught down there. Nice fish. And that puts him on 2 fish for, I'm going to say, £30. Wayne's got one. I've got one. Over on that far bank, they're catching an odd fish, but not loads and loads. It's a tough old day. We are now at 90 metres, so still got the 13-foot special Free Spirit High S rod. I think if we need to go much further, we're going to get that 14-footer out and go for the big chuck. But I fancy with the colour in the water, look at the colour. There's a road behind us, so that's why the noise is. That's why we get a bit of traffic noise. But look at the colour. I'm not too sure going further and further is the way today, because the more coloured it is, usually the fish aren't really backing off the same. So I might have 2 or 3 chucks now at this 90 metres, try and build up a little bit of bait, and then we'll have a push in the last sort of like 90 minutes maybe, and go a little bit further, try and find fish if sticking in one spot doesn't work. That's the plan. I mean, these guys that have caught, they've not been chucking huge distances. I'm saying 80 metres, 85 metres maybe. So it's not all about distance. Just wonder if the fish have just moved a little bit. Generally pegs 6, 8, 10 are the pegs you'd want in this little bit. Let's see where this goes. So maybe a little bit high up peg wise, but got some space. So look out there, might be able to see that land. Yeah, 85 metres I'm saying. So yeah, we're just past the anglers around us. We're on an M peg. I'm happy with my setup. It's caught me plenty of fish in the recent weeks. Let's hope we get our little run. Last 20 minutes, folks. We've not added to our one fish tally, unfortunately. We're now on the big rod, so we've gone searching. We've got the 14-footer out. We'll just give it a whack out there. We're probably at 105, something like that. And hopefully it goes. There's a free fish now. Neil, next door. Wayne's still on one. Then there's one fish further down, I think on peg 6. We've had freezing cold rain. This cold wind all day, but now the sun's out, it's actually quite nice. I'll tell you what, in my little den, in my chair, it's been good. Chuck out, messed around on my phone for a little bit. Hopefully we get a bite, but it's been a tough old day. We expected it to be tougher, to be honest. This whole section blanked at the weekend, so to catch a few fish is good. We might get a last hurrah on this, but I think we're clutching at straws. The way they pay the match out is in sections, so this is a section. Obviously he's going to win it with his 3 fish, and then there's 3 of us with 1 fish, so it's going to be touch and go who gets second place in this section, pays 2 in the section. Last time I spoke to Joe, he was struggling still. He hadn't had a fish. I don't think Steve had a fish next door to him. I think there's a 5 fish over there, so there's an angle with 5 fish over there. He's probably caught a couple more since I spoke to Joe though, so he'll have a decent weight. Obviously every fish in here, I guess the average is £10. So if you've got 5 fish, you're unlucky to have less than £50. It's a day of being patient. No one's really chucking very often. I think most people are expecting to chuck out and leave it for at least 20 to 40 minutes. I know that a couple of guys have had fish after 30 minutes today, so it's worth leaving it in if you're happy with it. This is the nature of the game. January fishing. Please, please, please go round. How long have we got left? 15 minutes left. 15 minutes left. That's been in for 8 minutes. one fish, £10 two. Next best in the section was Carpet.
Very unlucky me.
Very unlucky, £9 four. So I get section second. Unlucky Carpet, he looks pleased for me, don't he? Pleased for me, thank you. Take a picture, please. Cheers, pal.
Well, that was an interesting day. We've just got home. I can't believe how dark it is. It's only about 5:15 and it's nearly pitch black. So you can tell it is the middle of winter. The worst possible conditions for fishing, really. We've had loads and loads of rain and it's been freezing cold today. So we never expected an amazing day, but we were hoping for a bite or two and we got that one bite. First chuck, half hour into the chuck though, so a long old first chuck. We got that one bite, £10 he was, and that was just enough to win the section. You can tell Carpet was absolutely distraught because he had a fish as well. He thought his fish was going to be bigger than mine, but my fish was just that little bit bigger. Won second in the section. I'm taking that, you know. There's still things to be learned because next peg is a 4 fish. Could we have caught some extra fish? I think the fish are a little bit balled up at the minute. I think you're chucking on pods of fish and you're getting bites. Interestingly, every fish that he had was a common, almost like peas in a pod. So maybe there's a little gang of fish there. And there's been other good anglers today. My mate Smokey Joe, he didn't get a bite. Steve, he didn't get a bite. It is patchy, let me tell you. So I don't know. Is it just that time of year where you've just got to be on a few fish and make the most of them? I don't believe that. I think there's things you can do. There's definitely things you can do. So I'm going to have a little look. I'm going to have a little play with maybe some different baits, some different ways of loading my feeder, because I think maybe piling my feeder too high. Was that the right thing to do today? Maybe if I've skimmed down a little bit of bait on the feeder, maybe look at liquids. Flavourings could be important, especially in that coloured water. There's definitely things I want to do, put it that way. I'm going to try a few different things and I can't wait to get back. But I'm taking my win, my second in the section. I'm taking my 50 quid. A brilliantly organised match again. Pete Caton is running the Tuesday Opens. They're great matches to fish, great bunch of lads. I can't wait to get back.